He does it the only way he knows how. With his massive sports brain sprinkled with a smidgen of rabble-rousing. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Oh, you're going to get more of a smidgen of rabble-rousing once this baseball game starts.
Going to be insufferable, are you?
I just am going to react to things.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, Josh, would you like to host the show? And then I could put up a little graphic on my screen that says, watching the Royals game. And not interacting with the show.
That's fun when I do it for the Braves.
It is very fun for the person who's
watching the baseball
game. Less fun for the person who's just talking to themselves into the void.
Get ready for Michael Brunts to wax poetically about the Oakland A's leaving Oakland.
Yeah.
Because that's the only question I got for him.
That's it? You don't have any kicking questions?
I don't know.
All right, a couple of responses, by the way, to the odd news, both from Matt.
Thanks for listening, Matt.
Matt on the Equitable Bank inbox. Matt says, if an attractive woman shows up at my house and cooks me shrimp scampi, I probably wouldn't call the police. That could be a good poll question. If an attractive woman comes into your house and cooks you supper when you get home from work, would you call the police?
Okay, we'll get that up on the poll.
I don't think. No. That would spoil our reputation of being the least horny show.
That's right. This is not that situation.
Yes, so we're aware. This is not that situation.
Looked a little.
Just questionable.
I don't want to assume. I don't want to judge a book by its cover. Looked like drugs might have been a factor.
And I don't
think, based on the mugshot.
Based on the story, Josh, it did not appear as if the woman was cooking pasta for the homeowner. She was cooking pasta for herself.
Mm-hmm.
So let's rearrange this. If a woman comes into your house and starts cooking shrimp scampi for herself, then what do you do? I think it's time to call the police. If the shrimp scampi is for me, then we'll probably start with a conversation. Okay. And then eventually, once I find out that she's on meth, we'll call the police. If she's not on meth, then maybe the conversation maybe we could just amicably split here and we don't need to get the police involved.
I can't get the photo of her up on the.
That's okay. You're no director of video.
I'm not.
You're no Spielberg. Spielberg Grimm back there.
I don't have
working on stuff, grinding away.
Guy's got ideas. It goes under the hood.
Got ideas.
Also, news outlets. Just let me have the photo.
Why? Is it not like savable?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I get why they do it. It's technically illegal.
First pitch is thrown in Washington, D.C. to Tommy Pham, who daily I forget that he plays for my favorite baseball team. Every day when he leads off, I say, oh, there he is. Is he going to get in a fight today?
Always possible.
It is fantasy football season after all.
That's right.
All right, so here's the topic. Topic alert. So it's been sort of sad around here this week. People are not happy about the loss. They're not.
Bunch of sad sacks.
And so much so that they've projected how Nebraska performed in a small sample size in the fourth quarter and overtime last Friday onto the rest of the season. This is our lives now. We suck. I remember getting a tweet earlier in the week that said, I think 5-7 seems probably likely by now.
We had multiple people interact with the show this week and said, I just don't see how they make a bowl game now.
Yes. I got to say that you need to get your cataracts removed. Okay, visit our friends at Kugler Vision. All right, there's a path. The path is wide open still to get to a bowl game.
Also, if the whole season was riding on beating Illinois, what are we doing?
Yeah, but like I said, they're projecting how they played in the fourth quarter and overtime onto the rest of the season, as if they didn't play many other quarters before that where they looked pretty good. But I get it. The quality of competition came up, and Nebraska, they bent a little bit. I get it. It's human nature, right? So I think this loss is it's clouded some things. Bobby Witt Jr. just struck out.
Sad. A lot of game left, Connor.
I think this. Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's 2 outs at the top of the first. So I think the loss has clouded some things, and I'd like to use this segment not as a situation alert, but as a we're going to center ourselves here. How are we not talking about this more this week, Josh?
What's that?
That Dylan Raiola is incredible. So let's say the Washington Football Commanders, like Joe Burrow goes down the field a couple times, they get an onside kick, and the Bengals come back and they beat the Football Commanders on Monday night. What do you think the reaction is from Football Commanders fans? Because here's what I think, and I know these people are insane too. They hate when their team loses, but they're able to see it just as everybody else saw it on national TV, and the narrative remains the same. Jaden Daniels is very good.
Guys, we might have found that quarterback.
We have a future here. NFL teams celebrate getting their franchise quarterback all the time. It is a great situation to put yourself in, right? It is like I get jealous, even though I don't even have really an NFL team. I know the Panthers, we've talked about this, but like I don't really have an NFL team, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. So I look around at these other downtrodden franchises, and when they get their quarterback, there is a celebration. It's a celebration. That's what they do. There's a parade.
If the Tennessee Titans drafted Dylan Raiola today, I would be ecstatic.
It's a celebration. And the great news for everybody around here is that he doesn't actually get to go be in the NFL for at least 2 more years after this.
It's illegal.
So he's going to, pretty good chance he's going to be a Nebraska Cornhusker throughout that period of time. Why is this not the main topic? Why is this not the main topic alert through the first 4 weeks of the season? It would be in any other scenario. Nebraska has, like you hesitate to say never. Nebraska's had great teams before. Nebraska's never had a quarterback like this before. They've never had a quarterback like this. And we all agree, right, that I guess the rural truthers really come out when bad things happen and they lose games close and late, and they say, oh, he's 2-20 and blah, 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 in top 25 games, and he's this and that in 1-score games and whatever. I understand. But I think most sane people say, I really like whose hands are on the wheel here. Mm-hmm. I like who's driving the bus. I know people have their complaints about Satterfield and blah, blah, blah. That's all stupid too. But most people would say, I like where this is going. I listen to our post-game show, Big Red Overreaction. I listen to the network's post-game show, and everybody's mad about the game, but it's all couched with the idea of I still think the future is bright. I still think the future is bright. Of course the future is bright because you like the guy who's in charge, and my goodness, do you like the quarterback?
So I think that the reasoning is twofold. One, Dylan, quote unquote, missed the pass to Lindemeyer. And then second of all, the close loss, poor performance in overtime narrative, which has lasted longer than we've known Dylan. It's built in, it's reflexive. I don't even need to think. I can recite those talking points. Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom.
Wait. Go back to your first point. The missed throw.
How can I celebrate a quarterback who missed a throw like that?
Wait, do you believe this?
I don't.
Okay, good. You're just hearing this.
I'm trying to put myself in the headspace of some segments of the fan base.
Yeah, he's thrown for 1,000 yards with a 76% completion percentage and basically 0 interceptions, but he missed that throw.
He missed an easy one, Connor.
That is ridiculous. Give me a break. If you don't think he would make that, throw 100 times out of 100 times, and he just so happened to miss, I don't know what to tell you.
This is going to be an amazing afternoon.
Well, The first pitch of the inning is a pop up to the infield, and Michael Garcia just dropped it. He just dropped it. Oh, this is not good. Bad omens.
Yeah, nothing's on the line for you. You're fine.
Bad omens for today,
you're
Josh.
in.
Whatever, Hurricane boy. Give me a break.
At least your team's playing baseball.
There should be a parade because it's confirmed. We know this. Nebraska has a great quarterback. Nebraska will play many more football games this year. 8, in fact. And in almost every single one of them, they will have the quarterback versus quarterback advantage. They'll have a better quarterback than the team on the other side. That's worth so much. So let me flip you over to the other side. You could be in the opposite position. I was reading a story on ESPN.com today about, have you heard the latest on Oklahoma's quarterback situation? Jackson Arnold has been benched. They sat him. They said, this is a bad deal. And so the media in Oklahoma are now asking Brent Venables about revisionist history questions on Dylan Gabriel. They're saying, why didn't you keep Dylan Gabriel, you big idiot? Then you wouldn't be in this situation. And he has to answer the question like, well, I can't keep a guy from leaving. They are a mess. They think they have a good team. They think they have good pieces around them, but they have no quarterback. They have no quarterback. So they're in hell. Like that is football hell. I think football heaven is having a great quarterback. Pretty point blank period.
We're in it. You
hear
Chiefs
those
fans,
harps? Chiefs fans, you can't tell them nothing. Like you can't tell those guys nothing. Hey, Travis Kelce, he's fat and old. Doesn't matter. We have Mahomes. We don't have a running back. He broke his head or whatever. We don't have a running back, period. We don't even really care about running the ball that much. Our running back is a white guy named Garson. Doesn't matter. We have Mahomes.
His family held a wedding on a Sunday. That's how little they believed in that man.
Doesn't matter. We have Mahomes. I don't know. I hear that all the time, Josh. I hear that all the time.
Yeah, we're going to be in close games, but don't you look over there, Connor. You don't want to see it.
Texans fans? Gosh, I don't know about this team. We got the number 2 pick. I really wish we would have got the number 1 pick. Oh, turns out the number 2 pick is a lot better than the number 1 pick, and he's already established himself as a star. Oh, wait, people want to play with him now? Stephon Diggs, come on down.
They lost to the Vikings.
Yeah, but guess what?
Arnold.
When you lose game, this is the point, Josh. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Stop looking over there.
Come on, Tommy. Nice. All right. This is the point, Josh. I'm glad you mentioned this because the Texans are a great example. They have C.J. Stroud. They lost a football game to the Vikings, a game that they were favored in and a game that everybody in their fan base thought, we're going to beat the Vikings. They have Sam Darnold today. And they lost. And it was surprising and it was shocking. But guess what? They still have C.J. Stroud. Who'd you rather be, Josh? The Vikings or the Texans, even after the 34-7 result? That's right, Josh. The Texans.
And I will answer as quick as possible. I will not let you finish the question.
That's
how confident I am.
Thank you.
I would rather be the Houston Texans than the Minnesota Vikings today.
Who'd you rather be? Make a catch. All right. Who would you rather be? Let's apply the same situation. I know Luke Altmaier's pretty good, actually. Right? Who'd you rather be for the next couple of years? Nebraska or Illinois?
Nebraska.
That's right, Josh.
I think
this is parade worthy.
Altmaier's going to hold a clipboard on Sundays or be the XFL MVP, whichever he decides to be.
He could definitely have a career in both.
Yeah.
Scott writes in,
which is to say he's good. Like he's I think he's good.
We got a couple texts. And I got a tweet here from Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Counterpoint to you, Josh. You made the points of like, why do we think this is happening? He says it's not about the quarterback or the late game fade. It's about how the defense played. Couldn't stop the run. Illinois wide receivers wide open. Really stinks the confidence with that schedule. Sinks the confidence. Sorry, with what that schedule looks like. Okay.
Oh wait. So now the schedule is hard.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm having a hard time centering this thing as well.
I actually don't necessarily disagree with the point. I think the defense gave an uncharacteristic performance on Friday night, but is the schedule difficult or easy?
That I cannot answer. The first question, I'm going to go back to a word that you use, uncharacteristic. Do we not have evidence that the defense actually is good and has the potential to be good, and they just maybe had a bad night on Friday? Maybe they had 2 bad nights in a row. Or maybe you think, gosh, I can, I'm going to, we're going to see how this develops. Basically, I would say that I'm in the mode right now of defense. I'm watching you. I'm not so sure about you anymore.
Yeah.
But ultimately, do I think they're going to get it figured out? Yeah, I do. I don't know if they'll be as dominant as we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. Can they be as good as they were last year? Yeah, I think there's a world where they could be as good as they were last year. And they have a quarterback who's the future. Yes, they do. They have a quarterback who's probably better than just about anybody in the conference right now. Yep, they do. They do. And people know it. And he looks like Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've heard this.
I have heard this ad nauseum.
Husker Eddie writes in.
Hi, Husker Eddie.
People are pissed about the defense not playing well. We got 9 starters back, and we all of a sudden can't stop the run. WTF. Okay. Yeah. So these terms are, and I realize that I'm kind of playing the part of the Homer devil's advocate right now.
Sure.
But, hear me out, because I believe these things. You said Nebraska can't stop the run. Do we believe this to be true? Nebraska can't stop the run. This is just our lives now. They can't stop the run. Because I don't. I believe they can't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run in that game. I think they had a really tough time getting off the field. I think Illinois did some nice things. And
they struggled?
Yeah, they struggled. And Nebraska had a bad night. And there were some tenets of that happened in the Northern Iowa game. But what I do not believe is that point blank period, Nebraska can't stop the run. I do not believe that. I'm watching them, that's for sure. But that's what I'm saying. We take the losses and then we just project them on the rest of the season, saying this is how it's going to look. I prefer to look at the totality of what Nebraska's put out there so far. And to Eddie's point, you brought back 9 starters from last year. Why not include the games that you played last year as well? And if you did that, the overwhelming evidence would suggest that Nebraska can indeed stop the run. But yes, the last couple of games have shaken my confidence, but it doesn't mean it's automatically bad.
Many people in the YouTube chat asking,
what's up, YouTube chat?
Why Tony White, or T White as Negative Mike calls him, I kind of like that actually.
T White
is so scared to blitz this season.
I don't think I would use the word scared.
Okay.
I would say that I think they got some results in the first game where they wanted to see if they could defend UTEP, right, straight up. And they did.
Sure.
They did. And it worked well, right? They didn't blitz at all. And so I think they wanted to see how long they could push that and how far they could push that. And I do think they're going to get more creative.
Before they put a scheme on film that you have to reveal, so to speak.
Let's go! Hunter Renfrow.
Home run.
Dongtown, dead center. See ya. Sorry, Patrick Corbin. Cry. Yeah. Cry. He's crying.
He is.
He's crying on the mound. Hunter Renfrow? Mm-hmm.
This is the show for the rest until
Hunter Renfrow?
Mm-hmm. And I love it. It's chaos.
So, okay, what was I talking about?
Schemes.
Defense. Yeah. Don't you think, do we, point blank period, I'll ask you this then. Do we still think Tony White is good?
Yes, very much so.
I agree. I think that guy knows what he's doing. I think he knows how to motivate people. And I think he's got the right buttons to press on as far as the scheme is concerned. So as long as you believe, as long as you're steadfast in that, as long as that's true, and it's not untrue after just it's undone for one game, then you should probably still believe that.
My homies in the chat are saying that
what are they saying in the
maybe
chat?
Doesn't trust the secondary. If you're blitzing, you leave the secondary out there.
I mean, that would be a reason to not blitz, but I mean, Tommy Hill and Marcus Buford and Sierra Wright have been pretty good this year as far as I don't understand why they play all that soft coverage. They're kind of bend but don't break. The safeties haven't been good, but the safeties haven't been good in the run game mostly. When you talk about Singleton and Gifford, I would turn those guys loose. I would allow them to be out there on the edges by themselves and allow them to press and allow them to run with guys down the field. You risk, giving up pass interferences and big plays and things like that. But yeah, for Nebraska to,
a little worried about
get some more guys in the middle there and stop the run. Yeah, I think that's worth it.
I'm a little worried about the penalties lately.
Yeah, they have been penalty-y.
I think Saturday is a game that you can do some things, wreak some havoc on both sides of the ball, and just kind of. It is a weaker competition weekend, so you can execute properly and just kind of step up to the podium after the game and go, yeah, now what?
Yeah,
we did it.
From the text line, a couple things here before we get to Bruns. Here's Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
Back to Raiola. He said, okay, so he missed that throw. So if he made it, we probably win. But how many games will we win because of him?
Yes.
I mean, at least one directly, right?
Right.
There's going to be a time this year where he takes Nebraska down the field and scores in a fourth quarter drive and they win. That'll happen.
He just said,
contrary to popular belief, that'll happen. Yeah.
John Candy's in the stands.
Michael writes in.
Hi, Michael.
Is it a bad take to say people look around Dylan and say they don't have a running game, offensive line, wide receivers? How can they can't break free and get space? A leaky defense for the last two games. It's like Dylan is sticking gum in the wall trying to stop leaks. Maybe a Vegas Vacation reference. I didn't even mention the kicking game or special teams, and I was a 10-2 guy. Yeah, I mean, I just think they're like, I think that's pretty black and white. I don't think that Nebraska doesn't have a run game. I just think they haven't been able to do it as well as they've wanted to so far this year.
You'll know at the end of Saturday whether or not they're even interested in running the football.
I actually think they've protected Dylan Raiola well. So you tell me if they don't have an offensive line. I think the wide receivers have made individual great plays this year at times, including Nayer's catch in the end zone.
I believe it's pronounced Nayor.
Please stop. So like it, I just think those are really black and white. Once again, if I'm playing Homer Contrarian at this point. But like the point is they have such a good quarterback. And I'm worried, just like everybody else is worried, that it'll all fall on him and all that stuff. Like that's what Nebraska's trying to go up against.
That's when you get hurt.
Right. That's when the bad things happen.
I got to do everything myself. You're forcing it,
but it's one game.
Bam.
But it's one game.
One game.
I'm still in the it's one game situation.